Ending a month can be stressful, making sure you're trying to get in all your orders and your enrollments. There's a lot to think about. So I'm going to teach some fundamental things right now that you'll want to do at the end of every month to make sure that you're absolutely maximizing your compensation plan and you're ending where you expected to end. So the first thing you need to do is start at your dashboard, which you can get to by this left-hand menu or the right-hand icon over here. And you'll also want to pull up on a separate screen the comp plan overview. So this can be found in your resource center. It's just this sheet by itself or in the whole compensation plan overview, whichever works, it's all the same information. So once you have those things pulled up, go ahead and play the video again, and we'll go back to what we need to do from there. All right, so once you've done that, scroll down, and on this bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a report that will show you a screenshot of some very important pieces of information for you to know. So you'll want to look at the month. Let's say we're looking at the month of May, and you want to evaluate your QV to make sure it's over 100, to make sure you qualify for commissions, which it is. OV, which is 31,241, which tells us that the highest rank we could be at is a Sol Elite 25K, because our OV would not allow us to jump to that 50K. Now, our rank is only at a 3K, which lets me know that we're missing quite a few leaders on our first level. So we're going to see if we can get this rank as high as we can. It probably won't be able to reach 25K though. All right, so now we go to our reports. And the most important report for you at the end of every month is this monthly volume report. Change the month to the month you want to look at and click refresh, or else it won't change the data. Now scroll down. In this volume summary, it's going to tell you on your first level, because that's where our leaders need to be, how many you have. So you have 3 members, which don't count towards anything except volume, 3 specialists, and 1 Sol Pro. So that's why you're stuck at a 3K. So let's scroll down and dive deeper and see if there's anything else we can do. All right, so everyone is shown on our first level by this 1. So anyone on this first level, I'm assuming you have mentorship over, and so you are allowed to move them. Now, I know this is not always the case, but for many of you beginners it will be. But for those of you that are more advanced and have people who you have mentored but that are not on your first level, remember that it is possible for you to move them, but we'll talk about that later. Let's just assume for now that you can only move these people on your first level. So I want to look for specialists with QV over 100, because if they don't have qualifying QV for the month, it doesn't mean anything if I make them a Sol Pro, because they're not qualifying. So let's see, we have John Hanson, Specialist 6, and Bill Black, who are all specialists on my first level. So the one with the highest organizational volume, or OV, is John Hanson at 433. So we'll want to create him into a Sol Pro. So let's see what we can add. Glancing at this real quick, I'm totaling these, and I don't think we're going to be able to create 2 Sol Pros. I think the only thing we're going to be able to do is create 1 more Sol Pro. We don't have enough volume over here to create 2, to create an extra 2,000 essentially. So what we're going to do is just move the smallest amount of people as possible, since that's the easiest for me. So since we want to build John Hanson into a Sol Pro 1K, let's look at who has the most OV to move to him. Specialist 6 has quite a bit at 332, so I'm going to note down the username, which is 15742. And I am going to also note down the username of who I want to move them to, 1376, which is the username of John Hanson. Now, I also want to move Bill Black, since he has an OV of 348. So Bill Black, his username is 4300. And I also want to move him to username 1376. Okay, and I'm just totaling real quick in my head. 400 plus 300 is about 700. If we're adding another 300, we should be well over 1,000, which would create a Sol Pro 1K. So now that we know that, we're going to go ahead and go to the next video where I'll show you how to move people in your Smart Plan placement.